you, Scott?
Doing well. How about yourself, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, good. Yeah, this is an exciting record, man. It's very
Thank you.
cool. Yeah, it's really something. It's back to that Priest way of doing things. A heavy rock record. Great guitars, razor sharp. I wasn't sure, and KK being out of the scene, away from Priest for 10 years, getting back in the saddle, nothing's lost, man. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? I always say, and I've said, is he writes. People's like, well, it sounds like this or that or the other. I'm like, he's writing. It sounds like KK Downing. He just went right back at it. He just sat down and started writing, and those. Now it's funny because now really a lot of the stuff that he would have written in Judas Priest, because that's the style he writes. It's like I call it KK Downing riffs and leads, and people know what KK sounds like playing lead because there's going to be a lot of whammy and a lot of stuff. But hearing these guitar riffs and stuff, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It really is. Well, let me introduce you like you needed an introduction, but I have Tim Ripper Owens with me today, and it's an absolute honor. Ripper was the lead singer of the mighty Judas Priest for 7 years, just about 7 years. Recording, recording 2 studio albums, 2 live albums, and also nominated for a Best Metal Performance Grammy while with the band. He has also fronted a host of other respected metal bands, such as Iced Earth. Ingvar Malmsteen's Rising Force for a short period of time, and survived. And not everybody can say that. Ripper's now is a singer for former Judas Priest guitarist KK Downing's KK's Priest, and they have just released a full-length debut record called Sermons of the Sinner, and it is a killer. I mean, it's a heavy record. Was it just like being back in the saddle with Priest? You don't have all those guys there. It's KK and a new set of people. How was the dynamic? Was it different, or did it feel like you were doing a Priest kind of thing again?
Well, you know what? I've done this so long now, I just felt like I was doing my thing. You know what I mean? It's so weird now because you've been in the studio so much, and you've been in there with so many people, and I sit in here in my studio and record nonstop. The thing is, KK and I get along so well, as I did in my time with Judas Priest. It was such a fantastic time, and the guys are all great guys, including Rob. That obviously, he wasn't there when I was, but, probably a lot closer than I thought. But it was great. I just went in there. We hung out. It was easy working. We'd work on a song, we'd, have a tea break, work on a song, have a tea break, coffee break or whatever, and then we couldn't wait to the end of the day to have a pint and sit down and enjoy it and talk. But we get along so well, and it was great. It didn't feel any different. It's not like I feel any pressure anymore. I always put pressure on myself anyways, even in my house, to sing good. I want to make sure I sing good. But I just went in there and rolled with it, and we had a good time.
That's what it's all about. I mean, and it comes through in the music. It feels free and easy. Those razor sharp riffs, and your voice is soaring. I mean, haven't lost the thing. It sounds fantastic. How is Glenn? Have you talked to Glenn? I know you're friends with Glenn. And Parkinson's. Have you talked to him lately?
I haven't talked to him. We sent some emails back and forth a few times, but after I left Priest, we all stayed friends, but we didn't really talk much, just because they were doing their thing, busy as hell, and I was doing my thing, busy as hell. I mean, I stayed busy. So you just kind of separate. It's like when you leave jobs and you're still friends with your coworkers, you don't necessarily, you kind of go your separate way.
Right.
Ken and I would have stayed probably in touch the most, because anytime I came through town, his area he would drive 2 hours to watch me do a solo show and come hang out and bring the band a couple cases of beer. So here you guys go, and just sit. My band would always be like, "Oh my God, KK's just sitting there. But I don't know. I mean, I know about as much as everybody else. We all just sit back and hope he's. I'll tell you, I had such good friends with him. They all treated me great. Glenn and I probably hung out the most when I was in the band, along with KK, but definitely Glenn, probably just because the Demolition record, I stayed at Glenn's house and was with him every day. We'd go out to the pub every night, have dinner, and but just an amazing guy.
Yeah, we wish him the best for sure. Now, from what I understand, Les Binks was slated to be part of the band, played drums, got in an accident, broke his wrist. That didn't work out. What's the relationship like with Les, and would he be part of a second record possibly?
Well, he could be, but I don't know if we really break this chemistry up. We want to be a band, and now that we've made it now, this is as final as we hope it should be. My relationship with Les is great. I've only met him. Only met him for the first time, maybe 4 years ago now. I was doing a solo show in London, and somebody said, "Hey, Les Binks is coming to the show." Right before, I'm like, "Really?" And I said, "Did you put him on the list?" And they said, "No, he said he bought a ticket already." And then I'm on stage and I said, "I heard Les Binks." I've never met this guy. I just as a Judas Priest fan thinking, "Holy shit, this is the guy on Hellbent for Leather and Unleash It East." Yeah. I said, "Hey, is Les Binks out there? You want to come up and play a couple songs?" And off the back, here comes Les on stage. And I was like, "Holy shit!" So we played like Hellbent for Leather, Running Wild, probably Green Manalishi. I'm not sure. Whatever was on the set list. I don't think we did Before the Dawn at that time, but I had a great band from Ireland, Sandstone, that backs me up when I play solo. But yeah, so I met him, and then it was so awesome. I was like hearing him play these fills. It's just like even like it's just amazing. So he's a great guy. But once he broke his wrist there, we were recording the record. I just flew to England to do my vocals. And as I'm getting ready to record, Ken says, "Man, Les can't do it." And then we had to think, "Do you know anybody?" And I'm like, "Man, I got the right drummer for us." I mean, Sean is in 3 Tremors with me, and he's really an amazing professional drummer.
The record, I mean, he's crazy on the record. It's fantastic.
Well, and it worked out. And I think, we're in a position where we don't know what Les's wrist is going to be like on a full tour. Les plays a few local shows. So when you tour, it's hard on you. It's hard on everybody in the band touring. It's mentally hard and physically hard. So a drummer really has to be ready to go,
Yeah, no doubt. And one thing I noticed with this record, I turned it on, and I know David Ellison was going to be part of the band. He's busy and he does his thing. He's into everything. But the killer bass lines on this record, I mean, they are just really up front in the mix. Really complex bass parts, a little bit different than Priest. Ian Hill, fantastic bass player, but basic and solid. This is all over, up and down the fretboard. You got Tony Newton playing bass. Who mixed the album? I love having that bass up front because a lot of times you don't hear it. Who mixed and produced this record?
Well, first of all, David, which is a good friend of mine, he wasn't going to be involved in this band. He was involved with the live show.
Okay.
So we had, Les and AJ, and because that show came together and we did a live show, but the band is something totally different. That came together. Tony, well, you could tell Tony mixed the record.
Look at that.
Tony works with Iron Maiden, and he mixes their live records. And Tony was out front mixing, or out front of House of Sound at the first live show. And Tony's in the industry and has been a known bass player. Yeah, I think the difference is Ian Hill is unbelievable bass player, and he can do so much more, and you hear it on some stuff, but that's not the bass playing they want. He's just a guy that plays the basic meat and potatoes because I feel like he's told that he has to play the meat and potato. That's what they've done, right? It's like AJ Piero in Twisted Sister. He was an accomplished drummer that was unbelievable, But when he joined Twisted Sister, we want you to play boom, bah, boom, bah, boom,
Right.
you know, and it fits. Ian Hill is fantastic in the backbone of Judas Priest. You know, you hear some songs, do do doom, do do doom.
Yeah.
You don't have to be old to be wise. I mean, he is a great bass player. Tony, I think that was a good thing. This isn't Judas Priest, and so we can do whatever the hell we want to do.
Yep.
This is KK's Priest. It's not Judas Priest, but KK's songwriting is going to sound like Judas Priest because he wrote Judas Priest songs for 40 years.
Yep.
And now you know what he wrote in the band. But yeah, it's nice. Everybody brings out their own thing in this band, you know. And it's absolutely, you're absolutely right. You can actually, this is what's crazy. You can hear the bass on the record. How about that?
How about it, huh? I mean, and it's right there, and it's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah, great bass lines. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, it's some crazy stuff on there. Speaking of the writing process, KK and Glenn, it's, you know, Downing Tipton for a lot of the Priest stuff. Obviously, we don't have that here. So what? And you wrote one song in your time with Priest. You're co-writer on only one track. Did you write? And not everybody's a writer, but did you write any more? What was the writing process here?
Well, I didn't write on this. I didn't, because Ken had kind of had it done. You know, I've written a lot after Judas Priest. I wrote the Beyond Fear record, which I wrote half the music for the Beyond Fear record too, the guitar. My solo record, I wrote half the music on that as well, and then all the vocals, and then like A New Revenge, and I've done a lot of writing. This album, Ken had already had it. You know, he sat back and just did it, and I think it's for good reason. He wanted to just take control and write something. You know, he wanted to just I'm going to write this record, and that's how it is. And then, you know, he wrote the vocal ideas, and then he had AJ, the guitar player, laid down some vocal idea tracks. And AJ is unbelievable. I mean, when I got the songs, I was like, really, dude? You got some young kid singing like this, and now you got to have the old man come in and do it. So it was kind of there. And then when we went to studio, we could change things around. You know, we could add our ideas. And I think the next record will be even better. And I think vocally it's going to be a wider range of stuff, because I like to sing with an even wider range. So if he's going to send stuff for me to write on, it's going to be even a different edge to it. But he wrote, the great thing about KK writing this record is he wrote it for me to sing. You know, so he sat there and wrote it, went, okay, this is for Ripper. He didn't just write it with him thinking of, this is how I want to do it, or how, you know, he was writing it knowing that I'm going to come in there and belt it out. So he wrote it in my register.
Man, and that is an honor that, you know, I know you don't take lightly. One of the things that I love so much about you is you're a fan of Priest. You know, you are a longtime fan of that music and what KK has done in the past. You admire these guys, you love them like a fan, and I love that. What's the most difficult part of doing this record? You know, you come in and that music is there. Is that a comfortable thing for you? You know, to just fit into something that's already there?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, it was written for me to sing, so I'm just going in there. And, you know, in a perfect world, I would have sat here and did my vocals like I always do now. I mean, I sing nonstop. I just did the Three Tremors new record. I just did a record for a band called Pyramid. I just did a record for Leviathan Project. I just keep doing stuff all the time. In a perfect world, I would have sat in here and did my vocals, and then went to England and did the real vocals, or just used them here. I keep telling Ken now, send me the stuff and I'll start singing on it here and writing. But going over there was a piece of cake. I had the songs to listen to in advance, to check it out. I think I had all of them. I don't even know if I did, but you know, you just go in and listen to it and start singing. You know, we're professionals. We know what to do. And again, like I said, it was written for me, made it easy to belt it out.
Yeah, Yeah, very cool. Yeah, like I say, you're a fan. Here's a difficult question. Uh, you're going into this, you're a fan of Judas Priest. You listen to the records. Have you listened to the latest Judas Priest record? And, is that something that you'd rather stay away from just because of the influence of the sound?
No, I heard. I mean, uh, I bought it on iTunes the day it came out.
Figured you would.
I don't listen to him that much. I don't listen to a lot of stuff that comes out that much. I listen to mainly, sports talk or news talk or classic records. I listen to a lot of Dio, a lot of Dio, and a lot of Black Sabbath and Rainbow. That's my total idol is Ronnie James Dio and Rob Halford. But yeah, I thought it was refreshing. I thought it was a great record. I mean, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. They brought in some different producers and brought Tom back. The guitar riffs that, like I've said in other interviews, it really didn't, the music was not normal Judas Priest to me. It was written, you could tell it was written by other people, not the class. Glenn and Ken's not there anymore. But that didn't make it not a great record. And Rob sounded unbelievable. So it was a great record.
Yeah.
Rob sounds fantastic now. It's funny because singers go through periods where we don't sound as good. I think I'm going through my period right now. Rob went through a period where he might not have sounded as good years ago, and people would talk about it. And now it's like it's come back again he's full force. So it's cool to listen to.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I just saw them and he was at, like in top form. It was amazing to watch, really.
What I love? I remember somebody said this to me, said, man, I went and watched Priest and Rob hit a high note for like 5 seconds and the crowd went crazy. They said, you got to hit a high note for 30 seconds for the crowd to go crazy. You said,
and that's true. I'm thinking about that. And you're talking about the metal god here. He's a Ronnie James Dio and a Randy Rhoads and an Ozzy Osbourne.
He is. He's absolutely. He's the man. He invented it, man. He invented it. So he doesn't have to sing what he's saying on the records. I've always prided myself on making sure I sing what's on the records and better, because when you become the man like Rob, you can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. Because he's the man. He invented it. He's got everything about him is fantastic. His attitude. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Have you read the book?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Have you read KK's book? You got to read your boss's book there.
I did, but I was just reading the Ronnie Dio book, but
yes,
I'm not sure where it went. It's moved. I've been redoing my girlfriend's redoing the office. I just got back on the road and she made this office look fantastic now where I record, but
beautiful.
Oh, there's my Dio book back there. Yeah. Wendy sent me the Ronnie's book, so I'm reading it. It's fantastic.
I still got to do that.
It's good.
Love all of that stuff too.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. KK's book. No.
Yeah. Red Cake.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was great too. I loved being a part of, getting that deep into him. It's such a revealing kind of honesty to it.
Yeah. I know people are mad sometimes that things that he said, but it's hard when you speak truths and things and people don't like. Sometimes people just don't like truths and then they don't believe it. You read the social media nowadays and everybody knows everything. So I guess everybody probably thinks they know KK's story better than he does, right? Because he can tell what happened and they're like, oh, that's not it. That's terrible. But, that's what's going to be hard for me to write a book, because I don't know if I could tell everything that I've seen or done. I don't think I could. I don't think I could say, I don't think I could tell some of the things or throw some people under the bus. Some people I can throw under the bus. I'd love to. But I don't burn bridges. But you know what? He spoke truths, and sometimes truths hurt, and
yeah, I appreciated it. I read it, and he's a human being, and I think we forget that sometimes. You guys are human beings, you have feelings, and you have your certain you're looking at it in a different light than
Yeah.
everybody else in the band and all the fans. So it was great. I thought it was great because, you know, being a fan of Priest and having that honesty, I loved it.
And I will tell you something, when I'm with him, he says nothing negative about the guys in Judas Priest. Every time I've been around him, nothing's is said that's bad.
Yeah. And I didn't find the book to be bad, really. You know, it's just honest, and it's not a hatred or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I think people make a little bit more of it than it really is.
I said I'm gonna make a pop-out book. That's it. It's gonna be pages that open. It's gonna be like,
that would be cool.
Yeah.
On the album, you have a song called Return of the Sentinel. The Sentinel, of course, a Judas Priest song from Defenders of the Faith, one of my favorites of all time. Sermons of the Sinner being a priest. This is very attached to Priest, of course, with KK being in the band for decades. That's just, how did it feel to get back to that? And you revisit that riff from the Sentinel. How did it feel to get back to that? And were any of these songs written while Ken was in the band?
No. I don't know. Were there riffs around that he had? I don't know. Ken wanted to have a connection to his career. I think he wanted to have a connection to his career, to his fans, and his life. People say, "Oh, that's kind of cheesy lyrics, Brothers of the Road." Yeah, but that's all Ken's lived. I don't know how Breaking the Law is not cheesy, but Brothers of the Road is. It's always like parental
Love
guidance is cheesy. Songs like Have a Drink on Me. These are what, Raise Your Fists. These are road fun songs. Raise Your Fists became one of my favorite songs on it. But that's what Ken's done. He's written an album based around his life. He's proud and happy about all of his fans. He's proud of his career. So why not throw it out there,
Yeah, definitely. And I think of that, and Brothers of the Road is a fantastic song. Metal through and through, right after it, I think.
Yeah.
A fantastic song. And Judas Priest has always epitomized metal for me. I think of metal, I think of Judas Priest.
Well, you nailed it. And the thing is, that's when people say things about the lyrics. I'm like, Judas Priest they're never known as a lyricist, total lyricist band, but they have just like Ken did. He has songs on this record that are Sermons of the Sinner or Return of the Sentinel. That these, they're all over. Then you have the other ones with Raise Your Fists. It's just like Judas Priest. 1 minute they're writing the Sentinel or whatever, and the next minute they're like I said, they're writing Parental Guidance, or they're
Living
Turbo
After Midnight.
Lover.
Yeah.
You're writing songs like Turbo Lover, but that's why I love Judas Priest, right? I mean, they're writing Hell Bent for Leather. You kind of, nowadays, if Ken would have wrote a song with that Hell Bent for Leather, people would go, "Oh my God, it's so." Now, somebody did say, Sean from Cage and Three Trimmers said, "Yeah, but that was 80s. That's what you did. That's the lyrics, but still lyrics are lyrics." And that's what I love Judas Priest for. They changed musically every record, except Screaming and Defenders were the only two records that were carbon copies. The rest of them were different. Lyrics were all over the place. They wrote about anything they wanted to write about. And that, you just said it, is heavy metal. That epitomizes heavy metal. Yeah. You can write about politics, monsters, race cars, vampires, anything you want to write about, your everyday life. My records have been Pick Yourself Up, Starting Over, Death Race, Scream Machines. I mean, it's the same thing. I write about everything.
Yeah, and it's metal, man. I love it. It's great. You mentioned a book. Is that something you're thinking about?
I don't know.
Your story is great, my friend.
My book would be fantastic because I get to write about everybody else's books. And I get to write about a movie that was written loosely about me. I get to write about all kinds of stuff. Listen, it's a hell of a story and a hell of a ride I've been on. It's funny when somebody says, "Man, being a singer from Judas Priest, you must miss that, traveling the world. And what have you done now?" I'm thinking, have you not followed my career? I go more places around the world every year until COVID hit. I mean, solo, I've played Africa, Israel, Dubai, Greece, whatever, South America, everywhere I go, everywhere. And it's a hell of a story to tell. In my personal life, I still live in the same city. I do all the family stuff, have the same friends. It's a great story to tell. So we'll see what happens. I'm not writing it unless I make some money out of it, though. So
there you go.
Yeah.
It's great. And I love your story because you're one of us. You're that guy who made it. And we're so happy for you. And like I say, you filled the shoes of the metal god. Nobody does that. For you not to be hated in the metal community is an achievement. And you're loved here. And that's crazy to take over that spot and be so successful at it. It's really an amazing thing, just that in itself. Are we going to see you on the road? You come to Chicago to see me?
I hope so. I might be in Chicago with the Three Tremors in November.
All right.
So yeah, check that out. But KK's Priest, I don't know when we are. There's nothing planned yet. Okay. Only tour I have, Three Tremors in November and some solo stuff coming up. But it's definitely going to happen. It's a different animal. You could book Three Tremors or me solo in the local rock club. KK's Priest is big stages, and all the big tours that are out there now were booked pre-COVID, and now they're just coming back to redo those shows. So I think they're working on it. The agents, everybody, we got big agents working on stuff and trying to get it going on.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to see you in any way. Share a pint, do a Three Tremors show. I would love that.
Yeah, check out my social media pages. They're all over it's not on the website yet, but or the Three Tremors. But anything I'm ever doing, just come to my Facebook page, Tim Ripper Owens Official, or Instagram or Twitter, and you got me.
Awesome. I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you down the road.
Yeah, we'll talk whenever you want. Just give me a shout.
All right. I appreciate you, Tim. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.